Hi, this is Jeff Ron, and I'm going to just show you the process for cutting an onion and celery and carrot, which is the three vegetables that we use quite often in the kitchen and also is used for stock. So I've saved all the scraps of the celery, carrot, and onion. But first I'm going to do the onion. So I have a whole onion and I have the stem side and the root side. So what I want to do first is I want to set the onion down on the cutting board. I want to get a really firm, solid grip on my knife. And I want to make sure that my cutting board has, I'll show you, something underneath. It could be a wet towel, something to keep the cutting board from moving. That's very, very important. So I'm going to set the onion down, and I'm going to hold the knife like so. And I'm going to carefully and I go back and forth, kind of a back and forth motion like so. Just cutting the stem side off so they have a nice flat surface like this. That stem piece is scrap, but it's also can be used for stock, so I'm going to put it in my little stock pot there. Now I have the onion, and I put the onion flat side down on the cutting board so it's nice and sturdy. I still have a grip on my knife, a nice, really kind of even extra sturdy grip on my knife because this is a fairly large vegetable and it's hard, so we want to make sure that we are safe, and the further up you have that hand, the more sturdy the knife can be. So that's very important. So now you can watch as I slice right through the middle of the root. It's right through the middle of the onion and right through the middle of the root. And I'm just going to kind of move the knife back and forth just a little bit to get through the root, like so. If I get far enough, actually my tip of my knife, in this case, hits the cutting board, I can actually put some weight on it and slice through. If you don't have a long enough knife for it to hit the cutting board, just kind of keep going back and forth slowly, holding on nice and sturdy to the onion, and you can cut it in half. Now I have two halves, and I have the stem side cut off, but I still have the root side. So I'm going to take the root side and I'm going to make a V right just on where the root is, because I don't want to waste a lot of onion. I want to make one slice in that direction and one slice in that direction. Cut off. And I actually now also have a little bit of a ability to peel the onion right from that section that I sliced the root off. Okay, and then that can sit down nice and flat. I'll do this other one. Again, nice sturdy grip on the knife. Go one direction, it's like a triangle, then go the other direction to finish the triangle. And before I pull that off, I'm going to pull back, and it actually allows me to get that outer skin very easily this way. Sometimes there's a little more work to get the skin off, but it certainly helps. You want to get all of this papery, sometimes it's not even that dark colored, but it's really papery and tough, and it will never get soft like the rest of the onion. It'll always stay tough. So you want to get that out of there without wasting a lot of the outer layers of the onion. So now I have two halves of the onion, and I want to cut it. I'm going to dice these for stew. So it's going to be a larger dice. I'll cut one for stew, and then I'll cut one for more of a soup dice. So the stew dice is going to be about anywhere from 3/4 to 1 inch in size, in square size. It's going to be perfectly square, but so that means I'm going to do, again, I have nice firm grip on the knife. And now I've got my hands in kind of a claw shape. So you can see how I put the tip of the knife, get a little ways down, and the tip of the knife hits the cutting board. Then I can use, because I have a nice sturdy grip on the knife, I can use my whole arm and some of my body weight even to just kind of squish down on it in a forward motion. So I'm only making 4 cuts, and then I'm probably just going to do 2 cuts after that to get a fairly large dice for stew. Now I'm going to take this other half, very similar, but in this case I want more of a smaller dice for a soup or another kind of any other type of application. So this is going to be more of a 1/4 inch dice, and I want to do it in a way that my root side is facing me, and I'm going to do cuts with the grain of the onion. I'm going to do them slowly and carefully. Again, see how my tip of the knife goes in, hits the cutting board, and then I actually can pull back a little bit carefully. And I've got this claw hand, keeping the claw going slow and safe, like that. Now I'm going to want to cut the other way, and if you've done this carefully, the onion is still intact, but it has a slice going with the grain. Now I'm going to turn to the root side, and I'm actually going to start dicing the onion from the root side first. So I'm going to put, again, nice sturdy grip. You can kind of see how the tip of my knife hits the board. That gives me a little more leverage. Nice sturdy grip with my hand. And I get down to about my last cut. Now I can actually just turn the stem side over and do 2 more cuts, so that everything is fairly equal in size. So that is more of a 1/4 inch dice that we'd use for most other soups. Now I'm going to show you how to do a stalk of celery. So the stalk of celery, we want to do a dice as well, and I'm going to do a stew dice. So if I did a soup dice, a smaller dice, I would probably make 3 long cuts with the knife and actually just pull the knife through. So I'm just going to do 1 because I'm doing a bit larger. In fact, on a stew cut, I might even leave this whole if I wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And I'm just got a hold of the top side of the celery, and the knife is into the cutting board, and my hand is up on top. I'm just pulling the knife right through. Now I have 2 pieces, and I'm going to go back, use my claw hand really well, nice sturdy grip on the knife, and now because it's not that hard to cut these, I can do a real simple forward motion while my claw hand just kind of keeps feeding the celery into the knife. And see how my knuckles are really, if anything hits the knife, it's my knuckles and they just bounce off of it. My fingers are fully out of the way. So this is really more of a soup cut. I don't think I would cut it lengthwise for a stew cut, but that's what that looks like. And then for carrots, we again have a similar in length to the celery, but it rolls around, wants to roll all over the place. So this is a really important step, that we hold onto the carrot firmly. We got a nice grip on a knife, and we put the knife in. Of my knife is now on the cutting board. I've just sliced through the very top part of the carrot. Now I can put my other hand over the top carefully, just to sturdy the carrot, so that I can use the tip of the knife and the leverage from my other hand and arm to slice right through the middle. Now I've got 2 flat sides, so it's going to be a lot easier from here on out, because the carrot's not going to roll around as much. But it is a hard vegetable, so again, sturdy grip on the knife. Be really cautious of what you're doing and careful. And I'm going to cut it right through again. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this one through again. Now I have 4 pieces, so my carrot has now been cut into 4 pieces or quarters. And I'm going to go through and use that same claw technique and a forward motion, using the cutting board. Usually the front part of my knife hits the cutting board first, and then I kind of have that forward motion, but I'm using the leverage of the cutting board again. So remember that word leverage, because it's really important that your cutting board actually helps you cut. It's not just there so the knife doesn't get hurt. It actually gives you leverage when you're cutting. So you can actually use the knife and just practice putting the tip down and going in this forward motion just like this. Is a really good thing just to practice, pretending that there's food there. Just like that. So that's the three vegetables that we use very, very often in the kitchen. And they are celery, carrot, and onion. And it's called mirepoix, which is the French word for those three. I've also, put all the scrap into this soup pot, and I'm going to add some water to it and make a vegetable stock out of the scrap. Everything is fine. I might take some of the more brown colored skin of the onion out, but I'll leave the root in there and I'll leave the stem in there. The brown part of the onion can be a little bitter sometimes, but it does, a little bit that's in there makes a nice kind of a dark amber color to the vegetable stock. And that'll only take about 1 hour simmering with cold water.